everybody in football's talking about the news that came out last night about the Super League. I guess you've got two perspectives on this. You're a Liverpool supporter, and Liverpool are one of the clubs who are involved in it, but you're also the manager of a club that's ascended the football pyramid and kind of seen the best of the English football system. What do you make of it?
I know we're not going in it. I think there's a fear factor, isn't it? There's a fear factor of fear of missing out, is it? FOMO, is it? And there's a fear of not qualifying for the Champions League, and that's the inbuilt driver, I think. You know, and there's a good chance that Liverpool and Arsenal won't qualify this year for the Champions League. But you know, the Premier League need these clubs, so it's going to be very, very difficult times ahead. A lot of negotiation, that's for sure. You know, but I think people forget that there was a bit of a hoo-ha when the Premier League formed. You know, people were thinking this was like sort of elitism, and that's panned out quite well, to be honest. So you'd have to see how it develops, but I certainly think that, you know, football without them 6 clubs in this country, and it's very, very much watered it down.
Do you think promotion and relegation's kind of essential to what English football's been all about for a long time? I guess you've seen the benefits of it yourself.
I think so, and I think, you know, you've only got to look at the marvellous success stories along the way. You know, when the likes of Wimbledon, you know, going on to win the FA Cup, Wigan's rise to the Premiership, and you know, some have had the other fall the other way. But you've always got to have something to aspire to. I think the minute that goes, the fear that I have is that everything gets Americanised, and it becomes just a franchise, and it's just a money-making exercise. Then it's not a sport; it's a business. And you know, to a certain extent, football is a business, and you know, we've got to know that we've got to work in the parameters of business. But the fundamentals of football is the joy of, it's the same game. You're kicking a ball and you can recreate that in the street, and you can aspire to go and play for your favourite club, or you can watch these people on the telly and marvel at them. And I think slowly getting eradicated that, and I think there's been a blatant disregard for the fans in this, in all this thing that's gone on. And I think we're quickly learning that football clubs might think that they don't need fans anymore. There's too much money in their broadcasting that sometimes fans can probably get in the way of them.
Do you think behind closed doors has increased that disconnect?
I think so, but I think all the players, and certainly the people who are involved at the coalface of football, would agree that football without fans is like having chips with no salt in it.
To yourselves, more specifically, you were pretty fed up at the weekend with the performance at Rochdale. You said there was a time and a place for the hairdryer treatment, and maybe that was it. Have the players been left in no uncertain terms what's expected of them?
To be left in no uncertain terms at half time, not so much after the game. You know, it's not time for beating people up. But we've got to analyse where things are going wrong, and it was very evident where things went wrong on Saturday. You know, they'll be told today, and we'll put things in place to try and help them avoid that. We can't keep going on this roller coaster that we're on. Superb against Oxford, dismal against Wimbledon, superb against Blackpool, dismal against Rochdale. You'd like to think we're going to be superb tomorrow, but who knows? And we've got to take this factor out where we're just tossing up going and open. We've got to start being consistent in what we do. And I know it's been a long season, but it's a long season for everyone. So we can't use that as an excuse. Okay, we probably had more COVID cases than any other team. Well, it's happened. We can't do anything about what's gone on in the past. We can only do things, influence what things go on in the future. And that's what we've got to try and do.
Is there a way to explain how a defence of the same personnel largely can keep a clean sheet and then can look so porous and concede multiple goals in the next game?
No, it's inexplainable, and the more you think about it, the worse it gets for you. You need a little bit of luck as well, and again we didn't get that Saturday with the disallowed goal at 1-1, but we've got to defend better, and we know it's not as if these players aren't capable of defending, and then you wouldn't be tearing your hair out what I've got left of it, because they can, and have proven it time and time again. Just got to eliminate the sloppy mistakes we're making, and got to take the ball better. For 20 minutes, Ross still gave us a lesson there on how to handle the ball. That shouldn't be the case. Not with the quality we've got in that team.
Is consistency the Achilles heel of players up and down the divisions? Is finding that consistency the thing that everybody wants to find?
Yeah.
And how do you do it?
I don't know. You just get better players. Better players make better decisions. To get them right more regular. To make them earlier. And we've got to be striving to make our players better and make good players better, and that's what we're always trying to do. We had the doom and gloom of Saturday, and I go and watched the 23s yesterday, and they were the breath of fresh air. They won 5-0, and so it's not all it's not all dour in the world, but we've got to try and focus on what we're good at, and what's made Accrington such a strong entity in my time here has been a high level of work rate, a high press, and being able to pass the ball. And we're not going to get away from that. That's our blueprint, and that's what we've got to try and stick to.
You mentioned under 23s there. We saw Harry Perrick come on at Rochdale at the weekend. I know there's still plenty to play for, and it's still mathematically possible, but do you have in your mind that there's a crop of younger players that might benefit from some first team experience?
We're going to have to see them at some point, and that'll certainly be the case before the end of the season.
How much of an opportunity will that be for some of these young lads? Because you've started producing players coming out of the academy, but there's not that many breaking through. Obviously Ross Sykes and Toby Savage.
Yeah, it's difficult. If you can get two through every couple of years, that's great. But we've got to give them opportunities, and someone will get an opportunity.
Will it make a big difference to this club if you can do that, even if you can provide one every couple of years?
I think the academy is definitely going in the right direction. It's we've got good people working there at the moment in Duncan and Scott, and they're well supported by Fitzy and Andy, and Jed's the link between the 23s as well. So we've got good people, and it'll only get better. We've got a good recruitment policy for the youth team, for the academy with Ashley Hoskins. And so everything's in place. We're getting the better facilities. Obviously, we'll eventually, in the next year, have the youth team on the same site as the first team, which I think is a big lift for them as well. So everything's going in the right direction. It's that far from that. Now we've got to get the players into the team.
You talk about the roller coaster. Would the roller coaster be easier to take if you had a lot of young players in the team? Would that be more expected if you had a team?
It'd be more expected, but if you're good enough, you're old enough, in my opinion. And some of our lads have just got to improve, and they know that. They don't need me to tell them that.
And in the midst of all this, you've got a game to play, of course. What's your expectation?
Looking forward to it. They've had a good win at the weekend, having struggled in recent months. So it could lend to a good game.
I guess you'll come into it contrasting. They've had the victory and you've had another disappointing defeat. Do you think that can make a difference momentum-wise?
I don't know. We seem to be the masters of the bounce back. Us. Hopefully that's the case tomorrow.